I'm Lauren with Pack Hacker, and in this video we're taking a detailed look at the original Bogg Bag, which I've been testing for the last 2 weeks. Let's dive in. So you can see that this is a fairly large bag on the inside, but before we get into the organization, we're going to take a look at the outside. So this is the original size, which is their large or extra large, and then this also comes in a baby size, which is medium, and bitty, which is small. So depending on what your needs are, depending on how much you're going to be carrying, it does start to get smaller, obviously, but also start to be able to carry less weight as well. So kind of up to you. This is the size that we see around most often. So I think in my experience, I probably wouldn't want to go any smaller than this, just because by the time you get everything shoved in here, you want to have more space. But the material itself is made with an EVA. So this is a polymer that's kind of rubber-like. It's flexible. You can see that, like, if I just move this around like crazy, this entire bag is made with this. Then it just kind of is very flexible, moves with you. It's pretty lightweight as well, but it does hold its structure really well, which has some pros and some cons. What's nice about it as well is that it is more crack resistant, and it doesn't get as hot, so it's not going to melt or anything, which is definitely something you need if you're going to be obviously sitting out in the sun all day long, which is the purpose of a beach bag. And then as well, we have kind of waterproofness built in. However, you do have these holes here, which kind of comes into play with the organization, which we'll get into when we look at the inside of the bag. But that does mean that you can get, like, stuff does go through the holes. So, like, for example, when I brought this to the beach, it was a crazy windy day, and by the time I got home, the whole bag itself was filled with sand. So it will also, like, obviously if there's splashes of water, the splashes of water will go through the holes. So that design, nice for the organization, but does just kind of does have some downsides. The outside of it, though, in general is pretty simple. We've just got like a logo down here, or just says Bogg down there. The bottom, I can't really show you super well because, well, actually I'll show you later, but the bottom has, well, you can see it right there actually. It looks like a tread. It basically looks like a tire down on the bottom, and that makes it so that it doesn't slip around or anything like that. Material is super easy to clean. So in general, this is going to be something that, you know, holds up pretty well when you're just like hauling it to and from the beach or poolside or anything like that. We also have this in like a seafoam colorway, but it comes in a ton of different colors. They're always releasing limited edition patterns and things like that as well. So you have a ton of options to show a little bit of personality, which is nice. And then we also just have a couple of different options for like extra decoration. We don't have any on them, but they basically have, they call it like their decorative bits, which essentially is like, if you're familiar with Crocs, it's like the gibbets, which is you can stick the little designs in, and it kind of looks like patches all over. So if you wanted to fill up these holes with a bunch of those, you totally could. But in general, it's a pretty simple design on the outside and carry handle system as well, which we'll get into now. For the carry handles, we just have two basic ones that are in the same material, like of that EVA kind of foam that we have on the outside here. So with this, it's not going to be anything overtly comfortable. Like, there's no extra padding or anything like that. However, considering how heavy this gets when you load it up with stuff, I still found it very comfortable to carry. So I would carry it over one shoulder, or I would carry it like down by my side or something, in the crook of my elbow. And this was enough. You can see, I mean, it's like maybe an inch of kind of extra padding there, or I guess not even padding, an inch of like foam material, but they're very flexible, but you can see that they stand up on their own as well. So when the bag is like this, they're going to always stand up, so it's very quick and easy to grab. There is nothing to bring them together at the top. You could kind of rig it if you wanted to kind of tie them together, but in general, they stay pretty separated. And then if you want to have them down by the bag side, then you just kind of, you pull it through the center. If you don't pull it through the center, like if you try and go like that or something, it's just going to twist the actual strap itself. So pretty simple to get it up and down, however you want it. I personally like having them up all the time just so I can quickly grab it, but sort of up to you. I would say that the most annoying thing about this bag is how hard it was to keep both straps on when you have it on your shoulder. So if I kind of have my shoulder like pulled up right now, but if I put my shoulder down, that pops off, and that popped off all the time. And then if I'm not grabbing the other side of the bag, then it's like really pulling off. So basically every time I was walking, I had to hold on to both straps here. Like I said, even then it just kind of popped off. So it wasn't perfect. I kind of had to like layer them over each other. And I would say that that was really the biggest disadvantage of this bag, because it kind of did impact carry comfort. But like I said, the padding or anything, I don't feel like I'm missing any padding. It's just really the fact that I can't keep both straps on at one time. However, you can really easily carry it in the crook of your elbow or down by your side, but I found that it got a little bit heavier or felt heavier when I did it that way. So for the most part, I just made sure I had one hand pretty much completely free and just made sure I held on to the straps. If you're finding this video helpful, hit subscribe so we can keep making content to help you travel smarter, but we're gonna take a look at the inside here. So you can see I've got stuff kind of scattered around. There's no organization on the inside, but there are two pockets that come with this bag. It's like a larger and a smaller, which I'm just gonna go over what's just kind of hanging out in here and then we'll talk about those. But basically what I have here is like a blanket that I could use on the beach, and then I also have a beach towel. We were able to comfortably fit like 2 people's worth of stuff in here. Like if you have thicker towels, like this one's kind of on the thinner side for a beach towel. I have some beach towels that were more like this thick or maybe even just a little thinner. And I was able to get 2 of those inside, but you start to obviously run out of space in any beach bag. But I would say, it's pretty safe to assume that you can get 2 people's worth of gear in this original size. What's left over, I have a large water bottle, and then I also have one of those like can cooler guys where you stick your can in there. And then I also have my actual sling bag that I would carry, just sort of like everyday carry. And then I have a extra layer as well, because when I was at the beach, it got super cold. Nice and sunny, but it was very, very chilly. So with this here, like I mentioned, the disadvantage is that with these holes, this is where I saw all of that sand start to build up, was like down at the bottom. But all I had to do was take everything out of this. And you can see that what I'm showing you is like the base is really clean. I just had to simply go outside and dump it upside down, and all of the sand came out. It didn't catch on anything. I did take these out first so that they didn't like fall around or anything like that, but it is really, really easy to clean. And you can see on the bottom of the bag, it's still in really good shape as well. Like it picked up like some dirt, but for the most part, it stayed really clean. And if there was anything on this, all I had to do was really take like a wet rag to it, or even honestly, if you want to like take it outside, you can like spray it with a hose, because it is going to dry very nicely. The disadvantage is that even though it is a waterproof material, it's not a waterproof bag. And that also comes down to the fact, not only the holes, but the fact that you can't close this. And that's something that I found to be one of like the bigger disadvantages for me personally, because when I have my beach bags, I have one that I use primarily, and it has a little clip in the center so I can like pull all of the sides together. And I just like that my gear is a little bit more protected from the sun. In this case, I had, all of these items, and then I had my phone in here, which I don't have my phone nearby, but I wanted to put my phone in here, and it was just in direct sunlight because I didn't have space underneath any sort of shade to protect any of those items. And so I was, it was getting a lot of the heat of the day just because this bag was fully open. So that was the biggest disadvantage for me. What I ended up doing was just kind of layering my towel over things. Anything that I wanted to be safe and protected, I just kind of like used that as the protector. With the bags themselves, like I said, this comes with these 2. We have the small and the large pouches, and then you can buy additional pouches and accessories on their site, like coolers or other pouches as well. But basically, they have these 3 little knobs that just when you want to take it out, you can just pull it out like I did, or when you want to put them in, you just truly shove them through the holes, like 1, 2, and 3. And then they just clip through. I didn't have any issues with these like pulling out without me like being the one who actively did it. So that's really good. But what I ended up doing was I put larger items in this larger size. So I put any sort of like things that I wanted to clean my face with. I put sunscreen, I put wipes, I put tissues, my keys in here. This kind of just became like my dump bag. And then on the other side here with the small size I'll show you, that is where I put like, a hair tie, I put my wallet, I put a charger, I put chapstick, and then this stayed up towards the top as well. So you can theoretically put these anywhere the holes are. What I liked about this was that it stayed always at the top. So instead of having a bunch of pockets on the top like a lot of bags will have, obviously there's no pockets on the inside here. So you can kind of customize what you want where, which is a really great feature. And then with these, they were always, quick and within reach. This one here, you can see it's starting to kind of pull the zipper down. But it's not really like stretching out and it doesn't feel weird. This is just kind of like a, basic like zippered pouch, just like a plastic material. So that will also keep your gear from getting splashed. So really the only thing that's not going to get safe, or that's not safe from being splashed, is like your towel that's on the inside here. But there is, like I mentioned, a ton of room. And it's really great for if you're somebody who carries a lot of stuff to the beach and you're just kind of tired of going in and out of your bag. You have great visibility. One add-on accessory that we do have is the bevy, which just clips to the side. And so you can either clip it on the inside or clip it to the outside. I thought this was great. It doesn't have that like traditional going into the hole design, but what I liked about this is that I can just kind of like toss it wherever I wanted it to be. It just holds like a standard can. But I did notice that if I put it on the inside or outside, if something were to bump it, it comes off really easily. So that was the only disadvantage, but it was nice to have somewhere to hold a can while it was open, while I was drinking, versus, needing to carry this every single time. So there you have it, the original Bogg Bag. Thanks for keeping it here at Pack Hacker, your guide to smarter travel, and we'll see you in the next one.